Can you close that door also? Yes, before we start, so did you guys go yesterday and practice on joins or sorry joins, adding the columns, functions and all? Did you get time to practice on it or no? Okay. I mean, I didn't expect many people to come today because we had a heavy rain yesterday, right? But I was expecting people to join on online at least. It's good, right, that we have three weathers in same day in Bangalore at least. We have a rainy, and then we have a summers also, and then in the evening we have winters also. But the only thing which is worrying is the traffic, right? Good that at least you guys were able to come. So we covered new columns topic yesterday, and I'll be changing the color. Before we start, so there was one question asked yesterday, and someone, I don't know the name, but someone asked like, how can two replace two things in the same string at once, right? So let's say so for example, in this tails, we want to change the small a also, and in the accounting we want to change the capital A also, right? And we were able to do what was the function in which we want to change something? Replace, right? Substitute is also one, which is correct, but yes, replace. Replace, and then we have to provide either the string or the column name, correct? Column name is department. And then which string we want to find, which is, for example, let's say for now I do the capital A1. And then with which I want to replace it, right? And I want to replace it with, let's say, B. Yeah, small a I can also write. Let so new column. If I run now, you see the small a didn't change to B, right? And yesterday I said we can do it. I mean, we can still do it. It's just that there's a concept known as if you can use formula inside a formula, correct? So this replace can be used inside another replace. So it's fine that if you guys don't understand what I am about to write now, but I'm just saying there's this concept that you can use your formulas inside your formulas, right? So this replace now is also a column, correct? And we have used department column only, right, inside replace. That means if we can use column inside replace, and this is also a column, that means we can use this also inside another replace, right? So I can write replace again, and the first parameter for me in here, this is the column which I have passed. Earlier I have passed department in the inner replace. Now I have passed the replace full in as a column now. Now what I want to search the small a now. And I want to replace it with, let's say, small b. Correct? You see, this b, small a is changed to small b. And it's fine that you don't understand it now. I'm just saying we'll be using formulas inside formulas going forward also. So for now, it's fine that you don't understand. My screen is visible, right, in the shade. Otherwise, once it happened that it was not recording. Okay. So group by is, before we start solving some questions, group by is one of the things which we have not covered it yet in thoroughly, right? So let's say we have one of our data which says like product ID, let's say customer ID. Customer ID, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, correct? So let's say I am going to a store, right? And two, and let's say 3. Then this is a product. First, I bought what? Let's say um, this is also ID only I'll give. Let's say ABC product I bought, then XYZ, then yeah, ABC, and then ABC. And this was the cost. This is just a simple table, right? And why we would need to use group by is we want to show this table, this same exact table in a different level, at a different level, right? Now we are showing it at a customer ID, right? Or we have a transaction. So these are the rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are the rows, right? Now, if we want to show it at a product or the customer ID level, right? Which customer bought how much of the products or how much was the cost. So for example, this customer ID 1 bought 30 amount of product, right? So if I want a table which says only 1, 2, and 3 as a ID, and in the cost, I just want the sum of these. So for this, it is 30. For this 2, it is 120. And for 3, it is 60 only. So this same table, I change it to a different table at a different level, right? So if you want to just change the level at which you are showing the table, then you use group by, right? And whenever you use group by, you see there's some sort of aggregation which is involved, which is in this case, it was a sum. You can actually use average, you can actually use minimum, maximum, count. These are the main things which are there. So one thing is sum, average, maximum, minimum, count. So let's say this was a sum. If I wanted to do average, this would have done average of these two and given me. So this would have been 15. 30 divided by 2, right? This thing will be 120 divided by 3, which is 40. This still will be remain 60 only. Okay. If I would have done maximum, this would have given me 20 because maximum of 10 and 20 is 20. Maximum of 30, 40, and 50 is 50. And this would still be 60. If I would have done minimum, this would be 10. This would be 30 and this would be 60 only. You see, group by, that means on every level it is checking. So if you are doing sum on every level of customer ID, it is summing. Only these two it is summing, not everything. Yes, I will come to that. So whatever level you want, right? So this is the ID level which you wanted. That column you should provide in the group by. So group by will also have columns in it. It can have column and columns also. Okay. It cannot have anything else. It can have only columns. Yes. So if you want to use multiple columns, you will just use comma and then you can use multiple columns. But for now, to make it simple, whatever level which you want your data to be in at the end, that column you have to provide it in the group by. Correct? There can be multiple other columns and you don't want to use only one column as a result. If you can actually have two columns and then you would have to provide two columns in the group by. But for now, let's make it simple. We just want to use group by and only one column, right? So this is how you would use it. Let's say we have an example. Okay, I'll add few things, which is okay. Hmm, what will say sales? Uh, let's say I take cost. Okay, so you don't have to consider this for now. It's fine that you don't understand it for now, but it is very easy things which we have already like we have covered more advanced topics than creating the tables and all. So once I go to create table, it will be a very easy topics for you guys. Uh, let's say we have this table, employee ID, name, department, and the cost column, let's say, for example, right? Now, if I want this same table into a table which has on the department level, what was the total cost? Okay. So instead of selecting all, I can select all also, but for this case, we want it only department. Okay. Okay. So department from employee is fine. We don't have to do any joining. There's no where condition. We are next thing is group by. So you have to write group by like this, and you have to provide department again, right? And like I said, whenever there is a group by, there is some sort of aggregation. For example, sum, maximum, minimum, average, count, all those things. So which you have to provide it in select, because after group by only it will be doing the sum. So sum of cost column. So how to remember this is whatever column you have selected in your select statement, that comes into group by. Not a thumb rule. You can use it differently also, but that would show you a different value, which might be incorrect. But almost more than 95% of the time, it will be like this. Whatever thing which you have selected in the select statement, all the columns, not the new columns which you are creating, only the columns which were already there, that would be there in the group by also. Okay. So department was in the select statement, group by is also in the statement. Department is also there in the group by statement also. Now I want to do the sum of the cost. Let's say if I run, only sales and accounting is there and the sum was 40 and 20. Okay. So group by is basically this. There's no other complicated things which you will encounter in group by. Only multiple columns can come, and that we will encounter once we have that example, right? Any questions in group by? Do I need to repeat it again? Because we just wanted to show our table at a different level. That's all. That's all what group by is doing. Yes, I mean, so we cannot do sum of any text column or those things, right? Nice question. We can only do group by on numerical values, right? Maximum, minimum, all those things. Although there can be one very instance that you can use it on a text also, it won't throw error. You just have to be like, if you do sum of any text, that will throw error. But maximum and minimum are two functions which can take text also. So A is minimum and Z is maximum. That is also one thing. It won't throw any error, but that would be incorrect. But which is fine for now if you don't understand. Okay, so let's start with few questions. Okay, so there was one more topic which I missed yesterday, which was in this to create a new column based on some condition, right? So we created columns and the same formula was applying to that column, right? So if we created replace, that was same formula which was applying to that full column, right? Correct. But what if I want to create a column on based on some condition, correct? Let's say we take this example again. Instead of cost, we have quantity, let's say, right? Now, if I want to create a new column, which will say quantity type, and if it is one, we want it as a single item written. And if it is more than one, we want it as a multiple item written. Right? For this also, single item will be there. For this multiple item, again single item, and again multiple item. Okay, so this is based on a condition, right? Whatever, whenever this column is changing, this column will also change. Yeah. Correct. So how to create a column based on a condition? So this statement which I will be using is known as case statement. Let me use it there. This is known as case. Okay, so case is nothing but an if statement. If you are familiar with if and else statement, that is if only. Case you can convert in your head like it is if. But case is used with multiple other syntaxes. Case, when, then, else, and. So these all things will be used in the same function, and it is English only. If there will be one condition here, so if condition, let me write it like this. And we will use it in a proper syntax also. I just wanted you two guys to know. So case, there will be one condition. And when it is true, that condition is true, right? This thing will run. Whatever after you write after when, this will run. So in this case, my condition will be what? My condition will be if quantity is greater than 1 or if quantity is equal to 1. My condition is quantity is equal to 1. Okay. This is my condition. If quantity is equal to 1. You read it like this. If quantity is equal to 1, oh, sorry. Sorry. So case and when comes together only. And then there is case, and then quantity is equal to 1. This is a condition which you are providing. If this is equal to 1, then you want to write it as a single item. Else you want to write it as a multiple item. So this is the biggest statement which we have encountered until now. Case, when, then, else, end. It covers everything. So it has to start with case when. If when quantity is equal to 1, if it is 1, then you will write single item. If it is not equal to 1, then you will write multiple item. And it is creating a new column, right? Let's see one example on this. So let's say in this case, we have quantity, right? We have, let's say, 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here. Correct. Okay. So we have employee ID, name, department, and quantity, right? So 1, 2, and 3. We want one more column which will say quantity type. And for the first row, it should come single item. For the second row, it should come multiple item. Third row, it should come multiple item. Okay. So we have selected everything from the employee table, which is fine. We don't have to do join anywhere. We don't have to do where condition. We don't have to do group by, order by, or limit. We just want to create a new column, which is we can only do it in select statement, correct? And if you want to do a new column based on some conditions, then you need to use case statement. So case when, so you write case when, then, else, and all together only. Case when, then, else, end. Correct. Now you fill in. Case when is fine. Now in here, after when, you want to write a condition, right? My condition is if quantity, which is quantity, is equal to 1. Condition means like this should turn out to be either true or false. Okay. Quantity is equal to 1. Then if so, let's say this statement will run from for every row. So it will run from this quantity is equal to 1. It will check in the first row if quantity is equal to 1 or not. It is true, right? So if it is true, then this statement will run after. Then if it is false, then else statement will run. Then we'll write single item, and in else we will write multiple items, and then end. So this whole will create your one column, but now you want to give that as a name also, right? You can give the name to the column by writing as quantity type. Correct? It seems complicated because it's very bigger, but if you read it in English terms, it's basically saying if quantity is equal to 1, then write single item, else you write multiple items. Okay, it's fine that you, because this is one of the advanced topics which you might say, and we will be covering more and more questions on this. Once you run it, for the first one, it says single item, second one, multiple item, third, multiple items. Okay, let's start solving questions now. I want you guys to go to HackerRank. We solved it until what questions? Some 8 or 9 something we solved, right? 8 was solved, I guess, right? 9 was also solved. So we have like half an hour, 40 minutes remaining, right? So what I will do is I'll read the questions, I'll break it for you. I'll give you 1 minute to solve it, and then I'll solve in my laptop also, if you guys are not able to solve. So this says query the list of city names from station that do not start with vowels. Okay. Your results cannot contain duplicates. The first thing is you want to have the city names but do not start with vowels. So vowels are A, E, I, O, U, right? So Bangalore is a city name which does not start with vowels. So Bangalore should come. Likewise. Okay. So let's give it a 1 minute and you guys try. Because this is weather observation station 9. Yeah, so you don't even have to look at the table also. Done. Where is your laptop? Huh? Tomorrow? What? Okay. Okay, 2 weeks. So if you solve only on, or if you make notes, that won't help if you are not practicing hands-on. So here we wanted to select the city names. So I'll just write select. City, I can write it here also, but I want to write afterwards. So select from station where the not left also is fine, but yeah, left of city, comma 1, because it selects only the first letter of that city. Okay. Not in. City names will start with capital letters, so we should be writing capitals, right? A, E, I, O, U, right? And I should write select city for the first part, right? Until here it is done. But now it says your result cannot contain duplicates. So you should write select distinct. Awesome. We run our code. Everyone is able to follow because I see some blank faces, and this is pretty much the easier part only. I mean, for freshers, these are the questions which will be asked. So if you are a fresher and if you can understand this, which is fine, no one will ask you CT or subquery, all those things. But if you, let's say, have let's 1 or 2 years or 3 years of experience, then you would be asked a little bit more complicated questions than these. Okay. So if it is small letter A, inside double quotes, it becomes case sensitive. So if Bangalore is starting with capital B, and if you're writing under inside quotes small b, it won't recognize. Yes, because words will start with capitals only, right? Right. Yes. So our result is this, right? Every city was starting with capital letters, right? If I write small a, small e, those things, then it will throw error. Not error. I mean, huh? Yes. If it is inside double quotes, then SQL becomes yes. The whole everything is case insensitive. Only the things which are inside double quotes becomes case sensitive. Okay. Let's do next question with this 9th, 10th question. Query the list of city names from station that do not end with vowels. Okay. Your result cannot contain duplicates. Okay, this let's do it in 30 seconds. Only one thing which you would have to change it in your previous query, which was from left, just the letter from left, you just have to change it to the right. Correct? And yes, correct, exactly. So thank you for that. So you cannot have a city names ending with capital letter, right? So you have to change capital A to small a, all those things. You do not understand. Previous one also you didn't. This one I'm writing. Okay, so let's say the Bangalore name is there, right? So it is starting with capital B and it is ending with small e, right? You don't write all capitals, right? So if you want to search, you have to search the small e because last letter, if you are searching the smaller letters. That's why we are writing smaller. Okay. Any questions? So if you are not able to solve it, if you can follow along with me, it will be great. Right? City one, not in A E I O and U and select distinct city. Okay, previous question we wanted all the cities which do not contain vowels at the first letter, and this we wanted cities which do not contain vowels at the last letters. Fine, done. Next question, 11th. So whoever are experienced at least 1 or 2 years, they should be following along this very clearly. If you are freshers and you are not following, that is still fine. You can guys go again recording. All those things can be there, and we will revise few of the things again and again. All the queries which we will write, it will come again and again. If you are a fresher and you are not able to understand properly everything, it is still fine. But I expect whoever have experience, for them it should be very clear. Query the list of city names from station that either do not start with vowels or do not end with vowels. Okay. So Bangalore, let's say Bangalore will pass this scenario or not. So either do not start with vowels or do not end with vowels. It will pass actually. Why it will pass? Because there's an or condition that either it do not start. So yes, Bangalore do not start with vowels, right? Although it ends with vowel e, right? But it do not start with vowel. Okay. So all the cities which either do not start with vowels or do not end with vowels. Okay. Only the cities which won't come in here is which will start with vowels also and end with vowels also. Okay. For example, a city named Agra. It will start with vowels, end with vowel. So that won't come in our cities. Select this city. Okay, so you have selected from city. Everything is correct, but from station you have to put. Okay, so right now you guys are providing only one condition, one where condition, where not in that, right? Now you have to provide both those conditions separated by or. Okay, let's see how to do it. Again, select from station where. Okay, so first we will select the leftmost text, right? Left city, comma one, not in. Again, same capital A. This I should have copied only. AIU. So the first part is fine. That either do not start with vowels or do not end with vowels, right? The next thing which we can write here is or. Now select distinct city. Oh yeah, this will throw error for now, but yeah. So you have to understand how to break your question into different parts. Okay, just throw there because my syntax was wrong. I'll run code again. So there were two parts. We wanted to figure it out if the cities do not start with vowels or do not end with vowels. Or was the difference. So one in the left, right? Sorry. This one indicates the number of characters you want from the left. Correct. If I put two here and the city name is Bangalore, BA will come. If I put only one, only B will come. Okay. Same with the right also. From the right, it will select number of characters. In Bangalore, it will be E. If I put 2 in the Bangalore, RE will come. Okay. Guys, are you able to follow? Everything is fine. You're also following. Three classes. The first class, the first class will be this. Okay. So I don't have the recording of first two classes also. But I will create a recording. Yeah, actually. Okay. Oh, you have understanding of basics. Okay, nice. You guys are able to follow along? Or you guys are new to class? I don't know. You guys know, right? Understand. Can we make the filter second letter from? Yes, we can make it, but not from left or right. There is a function which I used substring yesterday. You can start from the second onwards. Can do it. So there are multiple options, multiple ways also to solve these types of questions. Select distinct from city from station where left a city not in A, E, I, U. or write a city not in AP. This is fine or wrong also. Okay, so maybe go AP. Also, this is zero, I guess. You would have put zero. Okay, so there are multiple ways also to solve the question. So someone would have solved by using like, right? You can actually write multiple and conditions also. So where left of city not equal to A and not equal to I and not equal to E, those all things. It will become bigger, but it will still work. And efficient wise also it will be same. Okay. No, no, no. So if you want to write all together, then you have to use in operator. Okay. Not is just changing it from true to false or false to true. Main thing is working is with the in. Okay. And someone asks one question: how to take the second letter from the your word. Or in the Bangalore, you want to select only A, not the B, right? So you cannot do it from the left or right in here. Right? If you write two here, it will be BA. So the answer is correct. Substring, which you can use, which I talked about yesterday. Substring lets you start at a different level. So left always start from the first character. Substring, you can tell SQL that you should start from the second or third or fourth character, and then how many characters you want. That is the third parameter. 12 is done, right? 12 is done, right? 11 is done. Okay. 12. Did I copy that? That was the wrong answer. So even I attempted it wrong for the first time when I was doing it 5 months ago. 12th. It says query the list of city names from station that do not start with vowels and do not end with vowels. Okay. So it should not start with vowels also, and Bangalore in this case would not qualify. Okay. Everything in your previous SQL query remains the same. Okay. Except this or will become and now. Okay. Any doubts? No, right? It's basically the same query which was there last time also. It's just that we changed from or to and. And means both of the things should be correct. Okay, I'll take time to solve this. Although this is also easy, but I'll break it for you. Query the name of any student in students. We have a table which has ID, which has name, and which has marks. So query the name of any student in students who scored higher than 75 marks. Let's solve this part first. Correct? Order and all we'll do afterwards. So what you will do, let's let's give 1 minute time to solve only the first part. Query the name of any students who scored higher than 75 marks. So you have ID, name, and marks. You only want students who have scored more than 75. Okay, you already solved. Order by also you have to put right this thing in order by. But yeah, you can. I mean, if you run now, it will throw wrong error because we haven't solved full part yet. Okay, so for the first part is pretty much easy. So you have, if you have solved previous questions, this is like easier than previous questions, right? Select from students where marks is greater than 75, right? And you want to select name, correct? This is the first part, and which is correct. Now you want to order your output by the last three characters of each name, right? So they are making this question complicated only, right? I mean, there's no way why we should order by last three names, but in just order to make it complicated, order your output by last three characters of each name. Okay, so you don't have to just do the order by. So ordering, order by will happen. So if I do order by, and if I give name, it will order by name. So if my name is Ashish, it will come at the top. But I don't want it to order by from the first letter, right? I want to do it for the last three characters, correct? So instead of giving name here or the column name, we can pass functions also or the new columns also. We have not created that new column, which is fine. But we can actually pass in our functions also in the order by, which is also column because function also create a column only, right? Whatever if I create left something here if I create, this also creates a column only, right? So or this thing which says order by has columns in it, that still is valid. Even if we pass function name here, that is still valid. So if we want to order by the right three characters or the last three characters of the name, how can we get the last three characters? By right of name, comma 3. This is the ordering of, and this is also correct until here. Now, if it says if two or more students both have names ending in the same last three characters, correct? For example, they gave Bobby and Robbie. So BBY and BBY, right? Both of them are same. Then you have to sort them by ascending ID, right? So comma and ID. So this ID will only runs if this is same for both two rows, at least two rows, right? Anything else? That's it. Correct. Now, if you run it, correct. There are two columns which are provided here. So first, it will go to from, and then where, and then order by, and then select. Mhm. Select names fine from students. Yes, is order. Okay, write order by in your next line. Why it should not? Because I have written only one query, but yes, I mean, for cleaning purpose, we should always provide semicolon in here. I mean, if for one query, it is fine. If you are running only one query without semicolon, also it will run. But if I have another query written afterwards, I cannot run both queries at once. I have to run one query once. If you have provided semicolon, you can write any number of queries altogether. Yes. Yes. So if it was ascending, right? So I did not provide anything ASC or those things, because by default it is ascending. If it was descending, I would have to provide DESC here. And it will only descending for the ID. It's not descending for this column. For this column, if I want to provide descending, I have to provide descending here also. Like this. Okay. I guess. Two more questions. We can do it quickly, and then we can turn to joins questions, basic join questions. I have 5 questions total. So let's say 20 minutes we'll take and we'll solve 5 questions. And these questions seems easy. Write a query that prints a list of employee names from the employee table in alphabetical order. So this somehow is becoming more and more easy for you guys nowadays. Right? So there's nothing complicated here. You just have to select all the employee names from the employee table in alphabetical order. So we just have to do select from and order by. I'll do select from, which is employee, and order by, which is name. And name only I would providing in this. That's it. Why did they provide the easier one afterwards? Okay. Next was voice therapies. So we have employee ID, name, months, and salary, right? So write a query that prints a list of employee names for employees in employee having a salary greater than $2,000 per month. Okay. Who have been employees for less than 10 months. So this is per month salary only, I believe. Months, the total number of months they have been in this, and salary is their monthly salary. Okay. Right. So again, there are multiple questions in this, multiple things. So first condition is that employee should have a salary greater than 2,000 per month. That employee should have been in the company for less than 10 months. And then you have to sort your result by ascending employee ID. Right, 3 parts to this question. Okay, let's solve it. I'll give you 1 minute and then I'll do the solving. We've already solved it. Try to solve the first part first. Select all the employee names having a salary greater than 2,000 per month. The salary which you are seeing is only per month, so you can just directly say where salary is greater than 2,000. You don't have to provide dollar sign.
I have to write down students from students. S, right? You have to write S. Correct? So you had written it correctly. It's just that students S you mentioned. Good. So for this, you need to understand how the triangles work. Case when then case you have to use it. Yes. Yes. The first condition which you would have to apply in this is for a not a triangle one. So how to do if it's a not a triangle? So it's two sum of two sides is less than the other side, then so that is one condition. Then you would go to then you would go to yeah. So this is the first condition in which two sides are less than both those things. Then the second condition is if it is equal, all the three sides are equal. Third condition is only the two sides are equal, and this scaling will come under else. Whatever is left is else. Hmm? Order limit is not inside order by, it's after order by. So why we need to use limit? Limit is used only for limiting your data sets to certain rows, right? We didn't require to use limit, right? So limit is, for example, your data is 100 rows. You only want to limit it only for the first two rows. You provide limit 2. Only 2 rows will count. So questions on limit. We can say, like, for example, if two students have the same number, you only want the first student. So you can provide limit 1 like that. I mean, otherwise limit is only mostly used for testing purposes. If your data set is lot of like is bigger, like millions of rows are there, you just limit your data set to first 100 rows or first 1,000 rows, so that your data processing time is less. Otherwise, limit is not that much frequently used. It's not used that much frequently. But yes, limit is there. Okay, so let's write this. Select from employee where salary is greater than 2,000, correct? And months is less than 10. And then you have to select name. So until now, here it's correct. Then you have to do sort your result by ascending employee ID. So order by employee ID, sorry.
employee ID. Correct? Everyone did it like this only, right? Okay. If this type of triangles questions, this is a little complicated. I don't want to cover today in today's topic, but we'll cover 3 questions of joints today. So if you can go to basic joint. And let's solve. First question was African cities, right? I think we solved it yesterday. Given the city and country tables, query the names of all cities where continent is Africa. Right? I'll just write it quickly so that you guys know. Select from. From is city. I can write on. I like to write on also in second line. Okay. So on city dot country code equal country dot code. That's it. And select the names of all cities. So city dot where continent is Africa. So this also comes after where continent also is in country table. Country dot continent is equal to so that's the difference between dealing with one table and 2 tables. So if you're dealing with one table, you don't have to provide the table name at the starting. But if you're dealing with 2 tables, there should be some way in order for SQL to know that from which table you are taking that column. So if you want to join and your columns are in different tables, so you have to join, right? So in this case, our continent and city name were in different tables, and we wanted city name. So we took city from city. This is table. Inner join country. This is also a table. So this is left table and this is right table. On which columns you want to join, all the matching columns, right? So city country code and country dot code were the columns. So code in the country and country code in the city were the matching columns. So you have to on also result in a true or false condition only. Like where. Where also result in true or false. On also results in true or false only. So it is checking whether this column is equal to that column. On every row it is checking. So whichever row is matching, it is returning. And then after that, once you have that table joined, then you are saying, I only want the rows which have Africa written on it. Okay. So this is what we did yesterday. African cities there. And then next was population census. This also we completed over. So in this also, I should have copied. Select from city inner join country on t dot country code is equal to country dot code where country dot continent is equal to Asia, and then it says you have to query the sum of population of all cities. You have to sum, right? You have to, it just want only one number. Output, it doesn't show there, but yeah, you want to know only one number, which is sum of city dot population. Okay. If I provide the other columns here, then it won't do the sum properly, right? It will have that column also, but I don't want column. I only want one number. Okay. So likewise, sum, we can do the average also. But in this, given the city and country tables, query the names of all the continents and their respective average city population. So it doesn't want only one number. It wants the names of all the continents also, right? And then their population also. Correct? So we want two columns, one which will say continents and one which will say their average population. Correct. So hint here, this will consist of your group by statement. If you know what do I mean by, so our table will be in different format, right? It will have multiple columns in it. It will have more rows. Now we want our data to be on a continent level. It will be on a ID level or a city level, right? After joining, we want it on a different level, which is a continent level. Query the names of all the continents and their respective average. So we want only two columns, which will continent and their average population. So if we want only two columns and on a continent level, in group by, we will provide only one column name, which is a continent. This question is probably the today's hardest question which you will have, because this will consist of a group by also, a new term. Otherwise, it's not hard. It's just new for you guys. This is the average population of each continent. You can go into basic join. Got it? The population of each continent. Let's take one more minute and then I'll show you guys how to do this. Join no, so for if it is left, then you have to provide left and join. Both. If it is join, that will by default it is an inner join. So let's see, forget about the select statement now. From it will be city, right? Inner join or join, whatever. It's the right, which is country, correct? Then it says, that's it. So no where condition, right? We are not subsetting our data. So there's no where condition. After where it says group by. So group by we want to do it because we want two columns, right? Continents and their average population. So that is the condition for a group by, because what did I say about group by? You want to change your table to another level, and there should be some sort of aggregation also. So we are changing our table from whatever format we have to only two columns, which is continent, and the aggregation is the average population. So for each continent, we want the average population. Correct? So that is the condition which group by only can solve. Okay, so next is group by, and the columns which you have to provide is only one, which is continent. And once you provide the group by continent, you know you have to provide some sort of aggregation, so that you will go to select statement, select continent, and do the average population. Let's see how. I'll write select from city. It is fine until here. Inner join country. On you have to provide city dot country code is equal to country dot code. Correct. Until here it is fine. Now we have to provide group by continents, right? Because that is the column which we want in our final table. Continent also, how we will write continent is in country column, country table. Group by country dot continent. This is only one column, correct? And whatever column you have in group by, that should go into the select also. First condition was that it should go into the first select statement also. And then there should be one aggregation, at least one aggregation, which is, in this case, it is average. The AVG you have to write. And population is city dot population. Correct? If I want to give, if I want to give some name to my average, then I can give it as average. Hmm? You want to do some? Oh, okay. So there's one more condition, right? And average city population rounded down to the nearest integer, right? So which function which we used? Yes, floor. We can use round also, but round can be wrong also, because if I have 25.5, it will round to 26. But I only want to round down only. Even if it is 25.9, I want to give 25. Okay. So floor is the thing which we have used. So in this only, we have one function right now. And like I said, we can use function inside function. So floor takes column, right? And this also is making column only, right? So we can give floor like this. And right. So we had our table in this format earlier. These were the formats of our table. So many columns were there, all IDs, all those things. So it was on ID level. This city was on the city ID level. Country was on the code level. Now we wanted on continent level, and then the aggregation was the population. Perfect case for a group by statement to be used. So if you are a fresher, this is the hardest level which will be asked for you. Right. So if you are able to understand, if you are a fresher, then I mean you are ready for interviews now also. Okay. But if you are a experienced one, or if you have like some years of experience, this is expected out of you, and there will be a little more advanced topics which can be asked. For example, subqueries and CTs, which seems advanced, but they are also same. I mean, all those keywords which we have used until now, will be using the same keywords only in there. There's no new thing which will come. Only concepts are there, but new concepts are there, but keywords which will remain same like these only. There's no advanced keywords which we'll be using. We'll be using the same keywords again and again. It's just that might change going forward. I think this will become tough. We won't be doing this, otherwise this will be too difficult. All are case based. Okay. So we'll be solving few case questions tomorrow. So the case, when, then, else, and which I said you right. We'll be solving at least few questions tomorrow, and then we'll see what else we can do. Like maybe having. I don't want to cover having now. We'll cover more and more questions tomorrow, right? Today's session was full questions. If you are not able to solve it, please go through the recording again and then try solving it, right? There are concepts which can come which are out of SQL. So there was select statement. There are like, for example, this question type of triangles, right? So it's not hard. It's just that you should know how triangles work, right? So if you know how triangles work, what is a triangle, what is equilateral triangle, what is scalene triangle, or those things, isosceles triangle. So if you know these, then you will be able to write it in SQL. But if you don't know that, then it becomes hard, right? Then first, in order to solve these types of questions, it's better to have like Google what are triangles, how to differentiate between different types of triangles, right? I'll see which all questions which we'll be able to cover, whatever we have learned until now, and I'll curate it and then we'll solve tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So then we'll meet tomorrow again.